You Should Have Cared, a story by Dalrymple.
If not you, then who?
He yelled down the phone, terminating the call and then throwing the phone onto the sofa. 2 days later, Jukes Coleman stood in his local council office trying to talk to, moreover reason with a lifeless-looking youth who really didn't want to be at reception as he filled in some forms.
I need to talk to someone, Jukes insisted. I need something done.
The reception youth gave no facial expression to indicate that they were taking anything in, and just as they made movement, an older lady with a look of concern stepped out from the back office.
No point in trying to look official, love. That office stinks, thought Jukes, as a musty stench entered his nostrils.
Can I help? The council official asked, whilst playing with the chain around her neck which held custody to her glasses.
I dunno. Can you, love?
Jukes swapped his weight from one hip to the next.
You got to put street lights at the Felix underpass and the Felix bridge itself.
He felt emotional saying this, but gathered himself to continue.
Bike accidents, junkies, young girls getting attacked, and then of course...
He paused. Just as the council official scrolled through notes on an electric notepad resting on the side, Jukes looked around at how sterile looking the decor was, but didn't let that put him off what he wanted to say, even though the official beat him to it.
Ah, yes, Mr. Coleman, is it?
We have you down here. Her looking back and forth from Jukes to the notepad indicated she was reading a file which included him.
Come in, take a seat.
She invited him in, showing him the way with an open palm. Met with the stench of mustiness on full blast, Jukes sat reluctantly, not really wanting to touch anything.
I'm Abby Henlow, head officer for your area. You can't keep ringing and abusing my staff, Mr. Coleman. What? I never abused...
You have called in on more than one occasion and abused staff verbally, all in the name of repairs and modifications you believe are overdue to the Felix Bridge and underpass. We are well aware of the accidents and the attack on the young girl, all fully reported to the police. Lights and a crossing, along with a toll booth, are all part of our modification programme for safety, right there in the Felix area. The bridge, the underpass, the estate, and its park will be a safer place for all. Her patronising tone, inclined head and smile angered Jukes as he sat biting his lip while perched on the edge of a shaky office chair.
So this is where I thank you, is it? Thank you for seeing an opportunity to charge residents for safety they're entitled to. You talk of abuse. I ain't done nothing to no one. Just wanted answers. Wanted something done. Abuse? You don't know abuse. You wouldn't know abuse if it slapped you dozy mare.
He stood feeling empowered by his private thoughts that connected him to why he was there.
Nah, love, you don't know. I've lived on the Felix estate for 35 years, paid all my rent, and watched it become a hole, a community hovel for the dregs of society. Abuse, he repeated.
He pointed to his bruised eye.
The swelling's gone down. Don't talk to me about abuse. Tell me where my bag and belongings are. I had to give them up to save my life. I mean, they're just things, but they were mine. Abuse! He spat out once more. They gave me a good kicking, such a beating. Why? 'Cause they could, and you lot helped them. The Felix underpass ain't a safe place for no one, especially soppy birds like you in your big dirty office doing nothing all day, you manky Doris.
By this point, the official had made several attempts to interject.
Don't bother saying nothing. I'm only here to quit my flat. Filled the forms in with Limp Lizzie out there. I'm gone in 2 weeks. My rent is all paid up. I'm off. Down to the coast, get some fresh air, say goodbye to my friends, have a drink and leave with a bang.
The official saw her chance as Jukes advanced towards the door.
Oh, Mr. Coleman, did you report this to the police? I'm ever so sorry.
Jukes stood in the open doorway which led to the corridor which ultimately led out to the street. He turned and, smiling for the first time that day, spoke his last.
Yeah, you are. You and all your lot, you're the most sorry bunch I've ever met.
With these words, Jukes was gone. 2 weeks passed with daily preparation for his departure, and Jukes slowly placed boxes into the back of his van, with his phone ringing often with well-wishers wanting to say goodbye. Neighbours and friends from the estate knocked on the open door for one last hug. Finally, Harry, his best friend, came around. "You sure I can have all this stuff? All your furniture?" Harry asked, looking the room up and down. "Mate, you've been good to me, you and Janice. You're doing me a favour taking it. While I'm at my sister's, I got nowhere for it. Once I get settled down there, I'll get all new stuff. Just take my keys back to the housing office. I'll put them through your door before I leave." Harry offered a handshake. "You're a good 'un, Jukes. Take care. Me and Janice will be down at Christmas." He rubbed his hands together. "Woo-hoo! Christmas by the sea. We can't wait. Hurry up and get gone." "Here, what do you want them chemicals from my workplace for? I nearly got caught fetching them out." "You cleaning down this place before you go?" he laughed. "Cheerio, mate," said Jukes, knowing he would miss Harry and Janice the most. "You're doing the right thing, Jukes, no two ways. You need to recover. See you when we get down there. Janice says you're to call when you get in." Harry gave a salute and for the last time left Jukes in his flat. Once dark, Jukes set out on his journey toward the motorway. He opted to take the route that included using the Felix Bridge. He drove across the dimly lit bridge and parked safely, thinking that the lack of lighting upon this night was to be his aid rather than his enemy. Collecting a satchel from the passenger seat of the van, he clambered down the bank and entered the underpass. He came across a young man who appeared to be high, whilst groaning and lying on the bank. He began to walk through the underpass, catching sight of a working girl and her client tucked away, trying to be hidden within its arches. All of a sudden, he heard a voice. "Gimme the bag." Rough and demanding was the voice, and even though Jukes was expecting someone, he couldn't be sure who. The voice was different from the last time. "The bag or I'll cut ya." A second voice was determined to take the bag by force. Jukes handed it over. He had planned to act scared, but remembering his last encounter in the underpass, he almost whimpered. "Look, just take it. Don't hurt me." The men ran off in the opposite direction towards town centre. Back on the bank, Jukes slipped and slided his way up. He ran all the way to the van with the firmness of concrete again beneath his feet. Once inside, he sat panting and shaking until he started the engine and began to drive. With the Felix Bridge behind him, he heard an almighty bang. No sooner after the noise, he could see the Felix area alight, just as if someone had lit a huge bonfire. He kept driving, looking in his rear-view mirror to see the commotion of flashing ambulance and fire engine lights. Jukes drove continuously for about 45 minutes, finally leaving the Felix area, his long-time home, for good. Inside the van, silence seemed to fall until it was broken by the ringing of his phone. He checked the caller name. It was Harry. "You still in the area, Jukes? Did you get off on your way all right?" Harry seemed slightly panicked. "What's wrong, Harry?" "Well, now I've spoken to you, everyone in my camp's good. There's been an explosion on the town side of the Felix underpass. 2 lads caught a blaze," Harry explained. "Probably crackheads. Someone from the estate heard police say they'd made homemade explosives. Could you believe it? Had 'em in a bag." "Oh well, glad to hear your voice, mate." Harry seemed to be rambling. "Anyone hurt?" Jukes inquired. "Nah, just junky antics, no doubt. Perhaps they'll clean up this area at last." "You good, yeah?" Harry asked. Yeah, Jukes reassured. He got butterflies. A feeling inside told him he was out of order to smile, that things could have gone horribly wrong. But he couldn't help beaming. "I'm good, Harry." Yeah, it's all good, mate." You Should Have Cared, a story by Dalrymple. You have been listening to a spoken word production for SoFF Creations.